Hey, peace. What's happening, everyone? We're now deal with.
Recognize royalty. Recognize it. Recognize royalty. Gotta recognize it. Recognize royalty. Like they ain't got eyes to recognize royalty.
I can feel.
Recognize royalty.
I can see.
Recognize royalty.
Now I recognize
Royalty.
royal to these eyes.
Royalty.
I can see.
Recognize royalty.
I can love again.
Recognize royalty.
Now I recognize.
I recognize it.
Royalty.
I recognize
Royalty.
passion.
Welcome. Remember to like the video, subscribe, turn on notifications. All of that helps. Blessings. Let's get started.
Oh, so the thing is, right? Did you say that you was proud of slavery? Like you glad slavery happened, so that we could be like where we are now in America?
No, I said I can recognize the blessing in it for me.
So it's a blessing that we went through slavery.
He said a blessing in it for him. Basically saying you niggas
Thank
can
you,
go
sir.
back to Africa right now if y'all love it.
I'm just asking him if he said that. He said it. Yo, that's what you said.
No, I said what I said. I said I see it as a blessing for me.
So you agree with it? Like you cool with it happening? All that?
Am I cool with history the way history happened?
Yeah,
Yes. I'm not mad at history at all. I would find myself just like it would be kind of like barking at a bird, a dog barking at a bird.
I understand
Like,
that. I
it would
understand
be
you can't
silly.
change what. I understand you can't change what happened, but you're okay with what they did because a lot of people had to die.
I think from some of my studies, I've learned that one of the laws of success is acceptance. When you accept something, you really are able to move forward and kind of progress a lot easier than if you fight against it. Especially something like history. I'm not mad at history at all, and I don't see how I'm going to allow anyone to make me mad about history. I wasn't involved in it. I didn't have a say
We're
in
not
it.
saying you should
All
be
I
mad
know
about
is-
it.
Talk, Kent. He talked himself into oblivion. Let him talk.
That's about it. We can build.
No, we're not
Hold
saying
on. Hey, Kent, let me say this real quick. The very fact that Uncle Kunkun think that to have a certain feeling about your ancestors getting enslaved, he actually equates it with being mad. No, that's saying that we connect to our ancestors, right? And we feel their pain. Any reasonable social group, it's the human thing to do, bro. It's what makes us human, dude. We're not talking about out of your mind, black owl just run through the wall. That's not what we're talking about here. We're simply saying having enough empathy, right, for your ancestors and what they went through and the role they played in building North America. It's a normal process, even of elephants, right? When one of them die, will stand around for weeks looking at the corpse, and they have feelings towards that. The fact that you think that getting mad over situations makes no sense is crazy. You control that. We're civilized. We control that. We understand when it happened, how it happened, right? But it brings up certain emotions, and those emotions allow us to know that all the programming of westernizing didn't work. All of it didn't fit, bro. That's all we're saying here. That we still feel where we came from. That don't mean we gotta move back. That don't mean we gotta do none of that. That's simply saying that this whole conversation we had were different segments of emotions. Shepard argued that they was mad and hurt based off of people getting enslaved. See, people seem to miss that element of what they really were saying. They was feeling the pain of their ancestors, bro. That's what that was. It was an outcry of their feelings. You might not have understood it. I know how you took it. Yeah, they got them. Nah, dog. They was letting you know that they still human, and they felt that experience, right, that humans before them went through that just so happens to be a part of their gene pool, bro. So for you to say, I'm not gonna get mad, nigga, you need to be mad, bro. No, out of respect, I'm not gonna call you niggas. We take that back because you asked me not to say that. And I have enough discipline not to say that. But I'm simply saying your behavior is very, very out of order and you're suffering from PTSS, post-traumatic slave syndrome, or Stockholm syndrome, when the victim acts out as the victimizer. You act like you was the one slacking niggas with the whip. Yo, that's how you act.
Yeah,
I'm not saying you need to be over the top, bro. I'm saying like, knock it off, dude. That's all I'm saying. Like, bro, we don't need you to be mad. Simply acknowledge, yo, what your family members went through, bro. Like, that's not hard, bro.
And
Can I respond?
And I'm not even saying you should be mad because we can't tell you how your emotions should flow. We don't want you being miserable around here, but you can't equate slavery with a blessing, bro.
Right, that's some fucking idiotic shit.
If it's history, it's history.
Degree.
That's a good point.
Again, I said I feel like I'm blessed. I didn't say that they were blessed for what they went through. But anyway, you know, for some reason,
explain that for me.
Can I just speak? Let me just get
explain
out.
how
Let me
you
just
feel like you're
respond.
blessed, bro.
That's
the part I really wanted to hear, though.
Can I
And then
speak,
you can
please? I didn't
explain
cut
all
in
that.
on you. I
How
didn't
in
cut
the
you
hell
off
do
like
you
this.
think you're blessed, bro? Come on, American Dream. We got all night,
I'm trying
man.
to, I know, but so you don't have to keep cutting me off if we have all night. But yeah, man, I hate when y'all just cut me off for no reason. You know what I mean? Like in terms of just to respond to what you said.
It was a blessing to you.
I got it back. Just to respond to what you said, Ankh. You know, for me and my ancestors, it's as if for some reason in your head, when you think of your ancestors, you only think of slavery. Like my ancestors is the time period of my ancestorship is way longer than that 400 years of slavery that we experienced.
Talk to him.
I'm sure. Can I speak, please? I have way more ancestors.
That was a nigga on your side.
Can I speak, please? I wasn't cutting in when y'all were talking.
That was
Can I speak? I don't care who it was. Just let me speak.
Speak.
Like, you know,
You may speak
I'm
now.
sure my according to evolution, with which Ankh believes in, my ancestorship goes back millions of years, not just the 400 years that we were. Can I speak, please? Jesus Christ, what's the matter with y'all?
Your ancestors go back.
What is the matter with y'all? Yes, it goes back to the beginning of time, and I'm asking y'all, like, I don't think about the ones that existed 800 years ago. I don't think about my ancestors that existed 2,000 years ago.
Talking about animals at that point, right?
Shut your mouth and let me speak, dog. Stop cutting me off.
Hold on.
Why are you so undisciplined, Ken?
Because I'm not disciplined.
Is this why you
I'm not fucking disciplined.
Is this why you keep changing? Like, stop. Listen, bro. Listen, dude.
No, I'm just
the show
asking
has
you,
my
hold on.
name in the
When you
title.
say-
The show has my name in the title. Can I get
Right.
out what I have to say?
No.
The show has my name in the title.
So
Can I get out what I have to
millions
say?
of years. Hold up. Millions of years, right? You're still talking about humans, or you talking about other animals at this point? What are you talking about?
Yeah, according to evolution, our heritage goes back to the beginning of time. Your heritage does not go back to Africa and African people alone. It goes back to whatever animals those people evolved from as well. They are your ancestors too, right? So all I'm telling you, even if we just keep it in the phase of Homo sapiens, right? Like,
300,000.
my heritage does not just go back those 400 years. And when I think of my ancestors, I'm not going to think of my ancestors as if they were all just slaves. No, I'm not going to do that to myself. Why would I do that to myself? I'm sure before those 400 years, I had ancestors who may have been kings, but you don't see me here running around acting like I was a king. I'm not going to do. Why am I thinking about them? I don't think about what my great-grandparents were doing. I'm not that concerned. Why would I be worried about what they were doing 400 years? I just don't think about it. It has nothing to do with who I am and what what I want for my life and for my children. And it makes no difference to me. And the main thing I have to do is focus on who I am now and where I am. And I'm sure that's exactly what those ancestors did. I think we may be the only one in our line of ancestors. We may be the only ones that do this silly thing of looking back and trying to connect with your ancestors and trying to do it like it's kind of silly. Right? It's a silly idea. Y'all need to figure out who you are and move from there. Like this ancestor worship that y'all do is maybe the problem that you're consulting. Y'all are looking backwards. Ancestor worship.
Y'all again.
Ancestor worship. Here,
we don't do that. We don't do that. Pseudo killers don't do that.
Let me tell you this last sentence, Ken. Ancestor worship has you looking backwards. Ancestor worship has you looking backwards.
Go ahead.
Ancestor worship is backwards.
Okay.
Now go ahead.
Are you done?
Go ahead, Sosa.
Hold up. Are you done?
Nah, y'all go ahead, man.
I said go ahead, bro.
Pseudo killers. I mean, maybe you know what I mean, but we don't do no ancestral worship over here.
Africans do. The main part of African religion.
Okay,
is
hold on, Dream.
worship.
Hold on, Dream. Do you see this right here, brother?
Yes.
What's this?
Fake 20.
That's a $20 bill.
Who the hell is on this $20 bill, bro? Do you know?
Which one is that? Is that Jackson?
It's Jackson.
God, you know your money.
Maybe I'm just retarded. Maybe I've lost my mind. But the guy is the ancestors, right, of the people that formulated this country, or the other way around, however you want to put it. They give honor to this. It's nothing wrong with that, dude. No. See, now you tried to trick us with the trickum shit.
That's not why he's on that bill. He's not on that bill because he's your ancestor. Cut it out.
But at a certain point,
hold on, Kent.
Don't go on a soliloquy about that silliness, Ankh. That's not why he's on the dollar bill.
You're doing exactly what you said Kenneth was doing. I didn't do that to you.
I'm sorry, sir. You're absolutely right.
Sir. Thank you. I want a smooth ass show where it's slowed down and even where I can beat you up. Okay? So I'm simply saying that the dollar bill is representation of the ones that are honored in their community, bro. It's very clear. Okay? Even the Christians in all their infinite wisdom, they're honoring ancestors, those that come before them. So when you give reverence to your grandmother that's dead, bro, like everybody does it. Like when the great grandmother, when a birthday come around, everybody talk about it. And Thanksgiving, we give reverence to those people that were in our community. Martin Luther King, it's nothing wrong with that. Here's your trickery in the whole thing. Nobody's running around saying, stay focused on your ancestors got caught up in the slave trade. First of all of our ancestors didn't get caught up in the slave trade. So we would never say that. That makes no sense. We're simply saying your attitude towards the ones that did get caught is abhorrent. It's what we're saying. We're not saying stay focused. We're not even saying use history as a weight. We know that over here. History can be used as a weight that wear your ass down. So we all understand that. That's why we the pseudo killers. But honoring and reverencing, like my mom, it's my mother, right? She's no longer with us. But I honor that. I know she wasn't living for her damn birthday on an 11, bro. But the memories I have, right? On the post, her sisters joined in. Her children joined in. It was a moment for me, bro, to reflect on a woman that gave birth to me. Ain't nothing wrong with that, dog. Like, you're not gonna convince me that there's something wrong with giving due respect and honor to the woman that was there for me. The first one to feed me on earth. The first one to give me schooling, proper instruction. Ain't no way in the world I'm supposed to not think about that. She is primary in my understanding of how I was to be a human. And I will give her the most high respect. The same with my father. He was primary in my development as a black male in North America. He was there. They both show me how I'm supposed to treat my kids. And I honor and I reverence that, bro. They ain't coming back to me in a fucking dream and a vision. They ain't flying. I don't hear their voice where everybody can hear yo, but they talk to me right here, bro. Like, it's always right here, those conversations, man. And whenever I run across those type of situations, it's right here. That's the same thing that African people do. Matter of fact, they were so connected to their environment in their history, right? That it was people that were far greater and older than them, that the story stayed with them and they brought them forward, dog. That's all it is. The fact that you can't bring story forward shows that you were involved in the most treacherous thing known to humanity, and that's the slave trade, bro. It has erased your memory of even giving up about those who got caught up. That's my point, bro. Now, knock all that off.
Right. You know, Ankh, like what you said was very probably likely true. That you honor your mom, and in a way that a lot of us don't, and you have that same honor for your dad in a way a lot of us don't.
And my great grandmother and my great aunt.
Right. In a way where others of your siblings may not. Right? You may be the one of your siblings that honors them more than anyone else, right? But then that absolutely doesn't make you their favorite, right? Even though you're the one that honors them the most, they may still have another sibling that's still their favorite. So what I'm saying is, you know what I mean? I agree with you. There's nothing wrong with honoring them the way you do, right? But all I'm saying is there's also nothing wrong with not honoring them the way you do, right? Because people can honor them in different ways, which they may appreciate even more than the way you're doing it, right? And you know what I mean? And they absolutely can. And we can observe that in our lives. Some of us are pissed off about that in our lives today. So for us to speak for our ancestors and say what would or would not make our ancestors disappointed or upset is kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because we can't speak for our parents today. So that's all I'm saying, bro. The fact that I may agree with you. It's good for you, Ankh, given who you are and your experience of life. It may be good for you to honor your mom, your grandmom, your granddad, your ancestors. That may be good for you, given you and who you are, given your experiences. But given me and given my experiences, that may not be who I am and how I express who I am. And it doesn't make my mom or my grandma or my granddad or my ancestors any less happy with me than they are with you. In some cases, they may be even more happy.
Okay, but look, hey,
whoa, Ken, hold on.
I like that. I like that.
No, he tricked you, Corey.
He talking to y'all. He talking to y'all.
Yeah, he did it again. See the trick?
Y'all niggas tonight.
Look, my fault, Chef, as you about to say. Look, here's the trick. No one said that American Dream should honor those who was caught up in a slave trade a certain way. No one said that. Everybody has their own individual way, right? As a matter of fact, you might be one of those people that don't even talk about it. You just be about it. Like you push forward in your daily person or just as a dad, right? And the way you move in your business and the way you strive, right? That might be an honor of your ancestors, and you never say a word about it, you never tell them about it. What we're saying here is, then tell us what it is then, bro. Tell me, how do you feel about those who lost their lives that were directly your ancestors in the transcontinental slave trade? Give us your version, your rendition of how you connect to them. Now, you can't trick me. You can trick Corey. So now we get to really hear how you feel about them, bro. Now, there you go. Let me hear.
Hold on.
Nah, he got the floor. Hold on, Chef. Let him have it.
Let him get the floor, Chef. I just want to hear it.
He never even alluded to that.
He did. He said that this is what he said. Nope. This, Chef. This is what he said, Chef. He said he tried to make it seem as though that I was remotely, or Kent was remotely, or anybody was trying to make him feel a certain way about his damn ancestors and do it the way that we do it, or do it the way, and the way that I do it is the best way to do it. Nope, that's the trick.
He wasn't mad. He said he don't have an emotional attachment to him.
Yo,
That's not okay. So we want to know, what is it that you have for those people? Can you explain that for us then? Because it don't gotta be an emotional. I agree. It don't got to be nothing, but I just want to hear it since we're in a conversation, since we've been down the slave roads and all that. Please explain to me, how is it that you feel about the people that walk before you then? I just want to hear from you, because I'm hearing something else, but go ahead, bro.
You mean, how do I feel about anyone that experienced slavery?
Your ancestors
directly related to you.
Your ancestors.
Directly related to me?
Like maybe your great grandmother or something like that.
Yeah, how do you feel?
Or your grandmother, if your mom died, that's your ancestor, right?
Lineage,
your mom or your grandmother.
Lineage, yo, your people, yo.
I mean,
he understands.
You know, slavery is a horrible thing. I don't want to experience slavery. Slavery is a horrible thing. Like, if I had to think about it, I'd have to say, you know, I feel their pain. That's a horrible thing. No human being should experience slavery. It's a horrible thing. I'm not here saying I condone slavery, and I wish more people could be.
I ask you how you feel about them, bro. Don't flip it. Keep it right there.
What do you mean?
How do you feel about them and their experience, yo? That's what I'm asking.
They went through a horrible experience. They went through a horrible experience. It's a horrible thing.
Thank you, bro. That's all I wanted to hear. Now give me that, bro. Why do you feel blessed because your ancestors was caught up in slavery and it gave you the opportunity to be here? Why is that a blessing, bro?
I think you just looking in retrospect when you say that. When they talk about the blessing.
Yeah.
I think it's easy to look in retrospect and say that, you know what, we on the richest. We happen to be on the richest continent on the planet, right? The most powerful continent on the planet, and a lot of it is due to our ancestors, right?
So you gonna help them out, Corey? You helping them out?
No, I'm not.
I'm talking about the hindsight. I'm talking about the hindsight. You talking about the hindsight?
I wanted to hear that guy.
Yeah, but
I know what you're saying, Corey.
He said this the other day. He said it the other day, and I remember, and it rubbed me wrong the other day. But you know, sometimes
it rubbed me wrong today.
We had a conversation already before. Let me ask you this: do you feel blessed to be where you are right now?
No.
Blessing is like I
feel fortunate. Hold on. First of all, I feel fortunate. I feel fortunate to be on the panel, right? I feel fortunate to have people that would actually sit around and listen to me. And I feel very fortunate that people actually get something out of the conversations, man. I got an audience for the last 10 years, and I appreciate the followers through all my stages of growth and development, man. I just feel fortunate, man. I think that, we talked about it, Corey. We talked about it, Sosa. Not thinking we're gonna make it past 25. But go ahead.
Yeah, but that's a yes, dog. I mean, I asked you.
When we say
you changed blessed to fortunate, but you said you feel fortunate, right?
Yeah, I feel fortunate, absolutely.
Okay, but what are the circumstances got you where you are, though? You see what I'm saying? If you're fortunate to be where you are, then you have to also acknowledge all the circumstances that got you to be where you are, though.
You mean even the slavery part, correct?
Yeah.
I'm not, but that's the point, though. But my point is,
you're not grateful for slavery.
No, listen, but the reality is that I would be in the same place if not for them crazy niggas underdeveloped in Africa. Mm-hmm. Like there's no once you see a ship go by, then you're like, oh shit, what the hell they got on top of that? And if left to your own devices, you're gonna try to do it, bro. Like I told you, the Egyptians knew nothing. They didn't have the chariot. The Hittites come and ride with horses. They had these 4-wheel chariots, right? A rough ride. You couldn't shoot them off the back of that mother. You could just move troops, right? They took them on. They reverse engineered it. They cut it in half. They added a shock absorber to it. They added armor around it, right? The shock absorber, right, allowed 2 people to be in there. One on the back shooting the shit out you. I mean, stable going over rough terrain like this. boom, boom. The shaka zulu, they added that. They modified it, yo. The African would have modified the goddamn boat, ship, canoe. Think about that. So I'm saying the fact that they constantly fought against that. That's why yesterday's conversation was valuable for me and people listening, right? It was more of to show you how they purposefully underdeveloped Africa. Read the book by Walt D. Rodney. They purposely scrambled for the resources of the indigenous people without asking them, right? Why would they undevelop Africa? That's a conspiracy. No, you underdevelop Africa so that the people themselves can't take advantage of their own resources. That's called colonialism.
Same thing with Iraq and Afghanistan, and you know what I'm saying?
But look, Corey, you see when you give us the same technology that you give people that have advanced, we do the same. Like that dude on your picture right there. We do the same shit they was doing.
Yeah, right, man. That's what I was saying. The people who gonna persevere is they gonna persevere in any circumstances. Right. They always gonna be the ones who stand out. Always. Right. They're gonna be that anyway.
I don't think the question is not would you be able to do it any other way. It's questions are in life you end up where you end up.
Right. That's why.
Period. All the other shit is to leave.
A victim of circumstances.
Right. So let's not act like that's the only way we can end up where we at.
You can wake up and say, "Damn, I'm glad I'm right here," or you can wake up and shit and be like, "God damn."
Yeah,
but it's niggas that ain't like living like us right now. It's niggas like on the street right now.
I'm not. Don't make it.
Everybody ain't living like us. Yo, everybody not living like us right now.
And there's more.
It's way more poor niggas out here in the streets than it is us niggas, yo.
No, it's way more poor. It's way more poor white people than it is black people, because one thing. It's the numbers. So it's like almost 200 million of them. There's only 40 million of us. Most black people get up and go to and take they got a business and they go to work every morning. Most black people, they law-abiding citizens. The overwhelming majority of black people are well-to-do, law-abiding citizens. When you know what I'm saying? When you're talking about, you know, you can think of some white people that live in your town or city like doing way worse than you. It's a trailer park like about 4 miles away from my house. It's a trailer park, man. You know what I'm saying? Like niggas in the projects that live the other direction 4 miles away, they living better than the motherfuckers in the trailer park. So you know what I mean? Like I think, you know, like I said, people gonna persevere. The ones that's gonna persevere is gonna persevere. We talked about how you read the book by Hakeem Olajuwon, right? You see how he grew up in the projects, right? Right. Brother grew up in the project, had to bum his way around to make it through college, right? Didn't even think he was gonna make it through college. Was a drug addict and everything. But he ended up being a astrophysicist, man, in the end, a mathematician and an astrophysicist.
It took a lot of luck, though. You gotta admit, reading that book, it took a lot of
things. It's the circumstances
for him to.
What's the best country for African American to prosper? If you had to pick a country, what do you think for an African American, a black person understand African American,
hold on,
person of African descent?
I think the world is African Americans.
No. There's some places that are just better. Like we can't do that.
If I was last point though, so I'm confused by your last point. You asked, there's a lot of history in between slavery and now, dog. Like they even say without slavery, you're basically saying what he's saying, that without slavery we would not be in this position. That's a bunch of bullshit. That's bullshit.
I'm not acknowledging anything.
You know that's bullshit, though, right?
What I'm saying is that you are where you end up.
No, that's not the. No, that's the easy way out.
The planet don't focus on slavery, nigga. You could have dropped off on a spaceship.
No, that's it. No.
Hey, Sosa, you know the opposite. You know the opposite of that, though. You're saying that if we didn't end up in slavery, you just automatically thinking that we wasn't even gonna be good.
If we didn't end up,
can I say this?
Listen to this point.
Yeah, let's jump in. Sosa, go ahead, finish out, then let Sosa jump in. Go ahead, Sosa.
I was saying there's no argument being made to where I would end up if there's no other argument. It's just you're here in this accessing life as you are where you are now. Go ahead, Chef.
Yeah, and I think the key word that was used, American Dream used the word blessing, and Ankh used the word fortunate, right? Blessing, entails God, right?
Right.
That it was some type of divine, it was some type of divine benefit that you get, right? That's why you're here. He said it. He looked at it as a blessing. Ankh turns around and calls it fortune. Fortune has to do with luck, right?
Yeah.
Happenstance. Just I'm happy that by luck, right? By just the way of, you know what I mean?
With a dice roll.
With the way the dice roll, I'm fortunate.
Now you're talking about language, Chef.
Right. So it is the two. Now, American Dream could mean the same thing as Ankh, right? Mm-hmm. He can explain it because we do mix the word blessing up, right? People, non-religious people, when they use the word blessing, right, in a secular sense, it means the same thing as fortunate.
I agree with you.
Right. So I mean, y'all can, expand those points out. You know what I mean, and see if y'all meet in the middle, or is there a distinction in what y'all saying?
And it is a difference. But go ahead.
Yeah, but Corey cut him off though 20 minutes ago. He was about
he was able to study a little bit.
He didn't study a little bit now. We ain't gonna get the real answer now.
He said it yesterday.
No, he already said it. We had a conversation before with Corey.
No, but I didn't hear it. Go ahead, American Dream.
What you mean, American Dream?
Explain that. What do you mean that you're blessed, right? That our ancestors got enslaved to get you here. Go ahead, explain that.
Well, I think what Sosa said was really on point. That's why I was just sitting back, because I think Sosa did a great job of explaining it, and I'm hoping people were listening to him when he was speaking. I think Corey was saying some really important things as well. So and I was just listening because they were saying things that I didn't even think about myself, and no, right. and they
backed them up.
It helped to strengthen what I felt, and then when Chef said what he said about being fortunate or being a blessing, that was like mind blowing to me. It was like just a really interesting idea.
Which one would you say, fortunate or blessing?
Oh no, let me explain.
Well,
you just give
it's true.
But you said hold on before all of that, before your mind was cluttered with all that. What was you thinking?
Well, what you should also pay attention to is that before each one of them spoke, I think they mentioned that I had spoke on it before, and then it's what I said that triggered those thoughts in their minds. And I don't even remember what I said. I really don't remember what I said, but I was just pretty much saying that.
Said you agree with
Now that you heard when Chef broke it down, right? Do you go with the fortunate or the blessing part?
Well, Chef already told you that I said the blessing part, and Ankh said the fortunate part.
So you fucking with the divine shit, right? You with the God shit.
He was in the middle of explaining it.
I wasn't even thinking about it like that when I said it. I wasn't even thinking about it like that because I'm not like a God crazy person. So I wasn't even thinking about it like that. But it was still an interesting idea, and I guess the reason I thought it was interesting because the idea of God and then the idea of luck. Neither one of us can tell whether those things are really real. No one can say luck is really real, and no one can say God is really real. So in a sense, a blessing and being fortunate is really the same thing. They're really made up of that same substance of whatever they are, because no one can say they're really real. I don't necessarily know the difference between them. I think that even if you look up the definition for blessing, you'll see fortunate in there somewhere. If you look up the definition for fortunate, you'll see blessing in there somewhere.
Let's get the answer, man. What do you mean by you was blessed? You was blessed that our ancestor was enslaved. What did that mean? Why we keep going around the mulberry bush? What did you mean by that?
Like all of us, like right now, one of the things that I think all of us as parents, for example, like me as a father, I always want more for my kids than I have, right? And I would be willing to go through some real hardships to make sure that my kids were better than me. And I can only hope that, you know, when my kids get whatever they get out of it, that they think of it as like a blessing. You know what I'm saying? That their dad went through that hardship that they didn't have to. So I guess it's that same sense that I'm in a position where I don't have to go through what they went through, and I'm kind of living the dream that they dreamt of. So it's that same kind of sense of being of kind of reaping the benefits of the struggles that my parents or my ancestors went through. It's like, it's just that same type of a blessing that I don't have to experience that struggle that they
bullshit, and
experienced.
you know it, but that shit sound good as a motherfucker. I'm gonna end it with that.
I want you to listen very, very carefully.
Tell the youth them to be strong. You can't tell the youth them to preach wrongs. While you try it on these lands, just remember every man is equal. Yeah, each one teach one, and a Father God him a the only done. So make we ease and reason. Smoke trees, span the ends, all the deep meds. Take a look at life and don't close your eyes. Sometimes things happen and it's no surprise. And I just so it go, so it go, so it go, so it go. It's the government no have no heart, them no care about poor people. Yeah, bigger heads no love people again. Them more sad than little of them. We see friends now reason again. Vex through whistle a blame. More time it hurt me to see how the face deal with the eagle of them. Regular me see it a pain. Regular me see it a pain. Take a look at life and don't close your eyes. Sometimes things happen and it's no surprise. And I just so it go, so it go, so it go, so it go. It's the government no have no heart, them no care about poor people. Social commentary. Drop the one, your principle, you don't know. The global will come and do it. Some people life every day, it's stress. The high price from JPS, that topic is currently. Jah alone, him a go help you. We need food, cause we no healthy. We are feel the pain, beg you protect we. In our life, we have no envy. Take a look at life and don't close your eyes. Sometimes things happen and it's no surprise. And I just so it go, so it go, so it go, so it go. It's the government no have no heart, them no care about poor people.